Wee woo, it's happening again like it happens every bloody year. Seriously, Pokemon and leaks go together better than Hillary Clinton and being cringe. Every single bloody year, this franchise manages, and I don't know how they do it, they manage to leak everything, always. On a scale that other video game companies just don't. It is pretty impressive how other game companies manage to keep things under wraps for years and years and years and manage to just spaff out games without everything being shown beforehand. But Pokemon has this really bad habit of always having everything on the internet weeks before release. And Scarlet and Violet is no different. Now, I'm not going to show any spoilers in this video, but I think it's funny. Depending on who you are, Scarlet and Violet leaks could be a Christmas present under the tree if you're a YouTuber, or waking up to your absolute worst nightmare if you work for Pokemon as PR or marketing. And it's not a new thing. Seriously, this has been happening since Generation 5. The Generation 5 starters were leaked on 4chan, and then they tried to turn around and say, are you this gullible? Come on, this isn't a real starters. Look, he has the same feet. Tepig has the same feet as Licky, and Rhyperior looks just like Emboar. They can't possibly be the same. And then just after that, basically the entire black and white Pokedex leaked before the games came out. With the amount of Pokemon that were gonna be in the game, the fossils, the type-ins, everything. And this happened in X and Y as well. I'm not sure how many of you were around back then, but back in the day, there was a magazine called Koro. And for Poketubers, this was the holy grail. For YouTubers, when Koro leaked, which it did every single week, by the way, every single month, you knew you were gonna get some spicy, tasty ad revenue off of that one. Because you get images of new Pokemon and really low quality screens, and then people would try and make fakes out of it, and then people would have to try and decipher the fakes from the reals. But since then, Koro's like fallen by the wayside. No one cares anymore. Irrelevant L+ ratio. Because now we have trailers for that instead. But look at this. If you remember this screenshot back when Sun and Moon was gonna be coming out, everyone looked at this and like, psh, yeah, that's fake. It's clearly fake. It's drawn. I could draw this. It's just a random artist on Twitter. Everyone says, oh my god, it's clearly fake. And of course, now we know it was real. Seriously, you stick like a low quality confidential tag on the side, everyone will think it's fake because why would you say it's confidential? Oh yeah, confidential. Okay, yeah, sure is. But Nintendo likes to leak their own games sometimes.
Early one September morning, anyone who had pre-ordered Paper Mario Color Splash had a change take place on their Wii U. You see,
wait, did they just release it early?
2 weeks away. But if you had preloaded the game onto your console, you could start playing it then and there.
So Nintendo kind of has to take a little bit of the blame for this. They leak their own games sometimes, like what happened with Sun and Moon when they released a demo and oops-a-doodle, they accidentally left all of the sprites for every single Pokemon in here. Whoever got that one wrong was probably fired immediately. Seriously, the programmer that woke up and realized that they left everything in the game was, I imagine, summarily executed, decapitated on the spot as soon as they walked into work that day. The Japanese don't take that kind of thing lightly. And like a disease that just won't go away, 4chan is always at the cusp of this. Here's the Sword and Shield leak that came out weeks and months before the game was even released of some random guy just typing things on 4chan. Turns out it was all correct. Of course, it's really hard to dictate the fake ones from the real ones because it's just people going on 4chan where you're completely anonymous and typing things. You have to remember there are consequences for this. Back in black and white days, a Japanese person that leaked just some photos of the Pokemon was arrested and was held on charges for copyright infringement. So you gotta be pretty brave to do this. Or stupid. I mean, you could be stupid as well. Maybe you just don't know that it's illegal. You might think to yourself, oh, well, I mean, I have the games. I should be allowed to post things. I bought it legally. I went into a shop and bought it and they sold it to me early. It's the shop that's at fault, right? Well, that's not the case because Pokemon Sword and Shield leakers had to pay $150,000 in damages. They took them to the bank. They took them for all they were worth. Just for leaking photographs of the game's strategy guide and post it in a Discord server, which is kind of crazy, okay? Just putting images in a Discord server, you get sued for $150,000 in damages. That's a little that's a little much. I'm gonna be honest. That's kind of big. And also for Sword and Shield, a 23-year-old man in Japan was arrested for hacking and selling save data of Sword and Shield. The man sold a Sobble which he had modified the details of with a PC for £30. First off, listen, if you're buying Sobble for £30, then you deserve to get scammed. I'm gonna be honest. If you buy any Pokemon online, then you deserve to get scammed. Never buy Pokemon online, you morons. What you doing? But anyway, the guy earned £8,000 and he got arrested. And I assume it probably wasn't worth that much. He would probably ordered to pay back all of that and then also bankrupt himself just for funsies. And I'm not gonna sit here and be the holier than thou kind of person like, oh god, leakers, I hate them so much. They're so bad. Because listen, I'm a YouTuber and YouTubers benefit greatly from when Pokemon-related things leaks. Seriously, when all this stuff comes out, it is a gold mine for ad revenue. Because you can play the whole card of, well, I wasn't the one that leaked it. I'm just kind of showing information that's online. It's still risky, though. You shouldn't really be doing that. You shouldn't be showing the leaked information before the game releases. And I'm also going to say, when games dump, it is also beneficial for YouTubers because it means that you can make content beforehand. You can get videos ready because Nintendo doesn't really send out review copies of Pokemon to YouTubers. They don't like us in that way. Other game companies do, but Nintendo doesn't. The Pokemon company specifically doesn't like you if you do things like randomizers or ROM hacks, anything along those lines, and that puts you in the bad books. That gets you in the naughty center. They're more likely to give you spanks than to give you early copies of games. So even though it is beneficial to me and other YouTubers and people that do the same thing that I do, it's worth keeping in mind that you can get absolutely dumpstered for things like this. Your life can be screwed over completely. And as someone that doesn't really look at leaks, at least not images and videos that people post online before the games come out, because I want to have my first reaction when I actually play it, it can spoil it for other people too, because there are certain YouTubers that will go online and put things in the thumbnails because they want to entice the viewer, which I think is a little stupid because all that does, if someone sees a spoiler and they get mad, then they just never go to you ever again. So we can drive away potential viewers as well. So not really maybe the best idea. That being said, it is a massive view farm. You can get hundreds of thousands of views. You can 10x your viewership just by posting this kind of stuff. And even if you don't want to post that kind of stuff, you can get videos ready beforehand, especially if you want to do stuff that's not online, because if you go online with a dumped copy, then you will probably get slapped. Not that I would know anything about that. But on a more economical part, you have to wonder, does the leaks have any kind of effect on the sales of the game? Because usually the target audience of a Pokemon game, it's generally younger people, and they don't know how to download those kind of things from online, so it probably doesn't harm the sales all that much. And let's be honest, anyone that downloads it and then proceeds to not buy the game probably wasn't gonna buy it anyway. And any that were, I'd imagine, a very, very small part of it. And if I was really gonna play devil's advocate here, I could say that leaks spreading online brings more marketing towards the game, maybe encourages more people to buy the game if they weren't good already because they saw something cool that they liked and they were like, oh, I kind of want to play with that one. I wasn't gonna buy it otherwise. That's probably very small though. Let's not play devil's advocate too much. Personally, I always buy both copies of the game because I have to kind of do it as a job, so I need to get both copies to make sure that I can do any kind of content that I want to do. Most people are gonna buy one, and anyone with the technical know-how on how to download it from the internet is probably gonna buy it regardless, because they want to go online. So as a whole, I don't really think it affects the sales all that much, but it's definitely something that the company doesn't want to happen. And I'm not trying to justify people doing it, because while it may benefit me personally, it doesn't benefit the most people overall. And I imagine it costs a massive amount of stress for the people that work at the companies as well, because they spend so long crafting this world. They put a lot of effort into it. And people say, oh, yeah, my God, they don't put a lot of effort into it. They didn't put the national decks in it. Do you know how hard game development is? They do put a lot of effort into it. Shut up. And having something that you work so hard on be leaked out of context online probably doesn't feel very good. So there's definitely a lot of sides, and honestly, if the games just didn't leak from now going forward and we all just got to experience the full thing as it came out, I would probably be really okay with that, because I like having a proper first reaction to everything. That's why I try to avoid looking up random pictures online, because I want people to have my first reaction, and I think people like that too. So I'm not going to tell you not to look at leaked stuff online. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. I'm not going to say that you're morally wrong for doing that. I'm not going to say you're morally wrong for doing anything. At the end of the day, Pokemon's a massive corporation. They can take a little bit of a hit sometimes. But if you're the people doing it, you might find yourself in big trouble. Big trouble. But anyway, keep an eye out. Be careful if you don't want to see the leaks And I am so close to 100,000 subscribers. You got to subscribe. You got to do it right now. Please, please. Come on, go, 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 go.